Hey artists, Mrs. York here. Today we are going to be talking all about tessellations. Now, you're not going to see elephants in every tessellation, but my example is a tessellation because it is a pattern that has no spaces, no gaps, and no overlapping. Let's check it out.
The very first tessellations were made in ancient Rome, thousands of years ago. They were made using tiny pieces of tiles. Can you see them? Look here in this ancient church. You'll see not only small tiles, but also carvings in the walls and ceilings of this church that have a tessellated pattern. Remember, that means a shape that repeats over and over like a puzzle piece. Here's another example. I like how this one has a flower in the middle. It's a radial design, and then the other shapes come out from all around it. Notice again the tiny square tessellate pieces from this ancient Roman mosaic. Tessellations can be found in nature as well. Do you see the shape that is repeating here with the honeybees? Look at these images. Do you see the repeating shapes? Or do you just see items in nature? I see both. The scales of a snake, the patterns on a pineapple, the repeating rectangles or squares of a brick wall, even the repeating shape of a shell of a turtle. Art is everywhere. The artist that we're going to talk about today is M.C. Escher. He was an artist who was famous for making tessellations. Remember, this is a type of artwork that has a repeating shape with no overlapping and no gaps. Do you see what shape he used to make his own tessellation here? Here's another one that Escher made. He enjoyed using two different colors to create contrast and pattern, and almost camouflage the animal shape that he was using to tessellate. This tessellation is one of my favorites because it doesn't just use one animal. There are actually 3 animals hidden in this pattern. One is red, one is yellow, and one is blue. Can you figure out which ones they are? So not only can we find tessellations in nature, in art and fabrics like blankets, we can also find them in basic shapes and signs that we might see around town. Let's learn how to make our own tessellation. Hey artists, you're about to see how I used a stencil, a special tessellation stencil, to create my own tessellation by repeating the shape by tracing it. You'll notice that I worked really hard to keep the shape not overlapping but not have any gaps. I also used complementary colors to add color, and you'll see how the rest is made. Here we go. Another way to make a tessellation is to actually make your own stencil. In just a minute, you're going to see some diagrams about how to do that, as well as a time-lapse video of how I used cardboard from an old Kleenex box to make my own tessellation stencil. Especially if you're one of my learners at home, or you want to continue this project at school or at home, this is something that you can try. If you're choosing to make your own tessellation shape, here are 2 diagrams that could help you get started. In my video today, I used cardboard cut from a Kleenex box. You could use cardboard from a cereal box, granola bar box, Kleenex, even the back of a greeting card, an old happy birthday card or something like that. I like to use stiff paper. Remember to always ask permission for what you use at home before cutting and tearing and taping. Okay, artist, here is your project checklist for your tessellation. Step 1, trace. Fill your paper with your shape without having any gaps or overlapping areas. Then outline. You can use a dark marker or pencil, whatever you have. Choose one pair of complementary colors in your tessellation to create an alternating pattern. This could be red and green, purple and yellow, or blue and orange. You have 3 choices. Be sure to color neatly and completely, and take a pic and turn it into Mrs. Jerk. Happy making! All right, artist, as you can see, I have completed my tessellation with the repeating shape with almost no gaps. I'd have to go back and fill in that one little spot, but I used complementary colors, and the complementary colors, which are opposites on the color wheel, I chose blue and orange. I can't wait to see what you're gonna make. Happy making!